I like to start off with a beehive braid pattern. I think this is fairly easy to do. It makes it very flat, and I recommend this pattern. Then I like to go in with a net. You could use a net of your choice, whether it is the square net or whether it's the more stretchy material. It really just depends on the client. Some of my clients prefer a net, some of my clients don't. I feel that the net helps with long wear of your weave. It actually helps with closing in your bundles so you don't have gaps in your bundles. As I put on the net, I just like to sew the net around the perimeter. Be very careful when sewing down this net because you're going to go in and turn around and sew in your bundles. So you don't want to make the first sew in of the net very tight. So I like to just put the net on and then I'll go in a full perimeter around the braids and I will sew the net on, and at the end I will go in and I will cut it off. Once I get to the top of the hair, I like to grab this net and make sure that it is as flat as possible. This allows a flat, even lay when you put on your bundles or put in your bundles. You don't want to have any humps or any bumps in your foundation. So I hold down the net and then I continue to sew it in and around. And as I stated before, at the end, once we secured the net all the way around the perimeter, we're going to go in and cut off any excess net that's hanging.
Huh? When everything started out fine.
Once we're finished, we're going to just go in and cut off the excess string. We're going to tie a knot so that it does not come loose during the sewing process. It's securely held down. I just double tie here, and then once I double tie, I just go ahead and clip the excess string off. Like I stated before, we're going to go in and we're going to cut off any of the excess net. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going in any of the excess net that we have left around. I just go ahead and around the perimeter and around the leave out area, I cut it off.
But still in the back of my mind, I knew you wasn't on your grind. But what you didn't think, but what you didn't know, that I ain't gon' wait. See, I ain't gon' wait, no. So never once in my life I didn't do it 'cause I paid my price. Oh yes, I'm good on that. He never had my back, and that's.
For this particular sewing, we have 2 packs of the Visso, however you pronounce it, hair. It's just in the natural black color 1B. We have a 12-inch and we have a 10-inch. And so with this hair, I really like this hair when it comes down to doing bobs with it. It lays nicely. It doesn't have like any split ends, which once we go in and we cut it, and it lasts you anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. You can actually shampoo this hair, recurl it, and it bounce backs to life. So I really like the Visso hair. Like I said before, we just have a 12-inch and we have a 10-inch. What I like to do is first I unravel it, make it even, brush it out and everything. I double it up and then I like to sew in it afterwards. I will put the 12 on the bottom and then I'll put the 10 on the top. My client is going for the more asymmetrical look, the one side short and one side long. So I like to put the longest length at the bottom just to give her that length. And then I'll go in with the shorter length at the top because my clients love to have the layers. So like I stated before, I'm going to go in. I'm going to make sure that it's even. I like to double it up. Sometimes it's already doubled, so I guess I'm just, just putting it in half just to make it a little more thicker at the bottom. I would start with the side that is not connected. Therefore, we can have a secure hole as we going in to sew it in. So I'll put the two sides together, making sure that it's even on both sides. And this is where I'll start to sew in the hair. When I do start to sew in the hair, I like to take my needle and thread. I'll make a small knot at the end. That way we don't have to worry about the thread coming through. Once I make this small knot, I'll take the needle and I will put it through the weft of the hair. And from through the weft of the hair, I'll turn around and put it through the braid of the sewing. And what that does is gives the maximum hold so it does not, as much as they brush and comb their hair, it does not come loose. So we're going to take the needle, we're going to go through the weft again, and as you can see, I went through the weft, and then we're going to go through my client's hair. Underneath the braid is fine. And then I turn and I pull through, and I wrap about 3 to 4 times on that edge piece when I'm starting new weft, because I don't want it to come loose. Most of the time, that is one of the factors of the sewings, is the actual first step coming to loose. So if you put it in and you wrap it around maybe like 3 to 4 times to give it a secure hold, you don't have to worry about that first section of your sewing coming loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to sew this in, but watch my step as I'm creating this bob. I don't like to go from the side all the way down. I like to go and skip a few. So make sure you watch as I sew this in. I do sew in from ear to ear for the benefit of, that is how your natural hair grows. Your natural hair grows from side to side and not from back to front. So when I do this, I do go from side to side, making it easier for the lay of the hair. As I get right here into the sewing, you'll see, instead of me dropping down to go at the nape of her neck with the sewing, I skip about 2 rows. What that does is give you the height in your bob that you want. And so I will go in and I was sewing over the first 2 rows, starting at about the third row, just depending on how you sew it in. If your braids are much smaller or whatever, I just do the size of my client's hair and I go with it. But here you can see I skipped the first 2 rows, and I will start on the third row, and then I'll go ahead and bring it up into the hair to make sure that she has, oop, I'm sorry, I missed and poked her, sorry. But I'll go in to make sure that she has the height that she needs in that bob.
And he had to make the choices he made, but not thinking that he about to get paid because I went in astray. Now that nigga on my line, calling me every night, yeah. Understanding my agenda, he tryna get a one up, he ain't bout getting figures. And please excuse my French, but he ain't bout getting shit. A no good brother when you thinking that's your friend. I can see it from within. How I know, because he showed me that shit.
As I start to come underneath her ear here at this point, I don't like to cut my weft. So at this point, I start to sew in underneath the edge of the braid. Once again, be very careful when pulling the sewing on the edges area, because you do not want to put tension on the area. As I go to fold it backwards, I like to make sure that I at least loop it at least twice. And what I'm doing is I'm going underneath the braid, within the hair and underneath the braid. That is going to give you the flattest fold back that you can possibly get without it being like bumpy or anything. It's going to be completely flat. Make sure you firmly hold it. You don't have to hold it too tight, but you want to just make sure that you have a firm grip on it so it lays completely flat when you fold it backwards. And then you just continue with the process. I feel that this gives it a lot more longevity in your sewing, because you don't have to worry about shedding. You don't have to worry about slowing down. I feel like this process is much quicker for me, to each his own, but it works so much easier for me, and it has my clients' hair lasting through the full installment, and they don't have to worry about their hair coming out. So, as I said, I just continue with the sewing, going back and forth from each side. I'm going to go back and forth, and I'm going to fold it until I'm completely done.
Dirty, dirty world in a point. Yeah, steady racking up. Fans never wanna look bad. Now we moving too fast. Tell me how it's gonna last, gonna last. Hold on. You better. We gon' make it. With the city on my back too. It's just the way that we could ever do. I tell them, we gon' make it. You better hold on tight. With the city on my back too. It's just the way that we could ever lose. I tell them, and this is what I'm thinking of, thinking of. I can't believe he tried to pull the rug, up from me. But what he didn't know that I'm ahead, yeah. Said I'm ahead, yeah.
At this point, I am now at the end of my first bundle. This being the end of the bundle, I like to make sure once again that every spot of the bundle is secure, especially the beginning and especially the end. The beginning is very crucial. The end is very crucial. When you are making sure that your final end of that bundle is secure, what I like to do is I'll go in, I'll do 2 loops, and then I'll pull through. I do that maybe like 2 to 3 times just to make sure once again and always that it is very secure. Your clients have a tendency of going home. They will brush and brush and brush. And what you don't want is at any time for your sewing to come loose. Once I do that about 2 to 3 times, I go in, I double knot it. Once I double knot it, I clip off the excess string, and then you can proceed to your next bundle or pack of hair.
Yeah. Sitting back in the lane, they waiting on the words. They'll be dressed in all black. Now why you trying me when I was trying to keep the peace? I'm just trying to be a big on me, but they won't let me be, so I gotta let them know.
Starting on my second bundle of hair, I like to create the deep bang effect. So what you see me doing here is once again securing the hold on the first section of the bundle to make sure that it's secure. I'm going to go with the same pattern from ear to ear all the way around, but each time I come back, I'm going to bring it to the front where the bang is. That way I can make a full bang in the front. Once I start getting to the top of the hair, I'm going to go from side to side, and then I'm going to go straight across to close it in. Here you can see we are finished. We closed it in. We have the deep bang on one side, and then we have the natural edges on the other side. That gives it a best flat possible sewing, more natural looking as possible. So I hope this video helped you with a partial sewing. Check out my next video on me actually cutting the bob. Thanks for watching.